Boom, boom, kaboom. It's Newf, Nukem in the room. Welcome, everybody, to another Tuesday evening podcast of your favorite rated R gaming podcast called Gaming After Dark. I'm your host, Newf Nukem. I already said that once, but hey, I'll say it twice because it's even nicer when you say it twice. We're going to have a dynamite show for you tonight. I already see a great chat lining up, getting ready for this one. I have the usual suspects on board and ready to go. So let's bring in the panel one by one, and then we'll introduce you to our esteemed guest who has been waiting a long-awaited return to Gaming After Dark. So let's start out with the GameComplainers. He's going by Mr. Xbox Done tonight.
What's going on, everybody in the chat? Newf, panel, how you guys doing tonight?
I am fantastic. How about you?
Pretty good.
That's good to know. Sounds like you're ready for another dynamite show.
I'm always ready.
Hit that like, comment, subscribe, everybody. Greatly appreciate it. All right, let's bring in Mr. Proto Foxy, the menace himself.
Hey, what time is it? It's time for Gaming After Dark. Do you know where your mother's at? I don't know if you do, but I sure as hell do. Let's get this show on the road.
I can smell her in your bedroom, Proto.
Yep.
All right. Or is that just the depends I'm catching up on?
Maybe a little bit of column A and B.
All right. Bringing in, speaking of dusty crotches, let's bring in Sir X-Man.
Hey, my mic works when I'm on Xbox. That's all I'm saying. I ain't pointing no fingers.
That's fair. That's fair. I'll take the shots.
Shots fired. Shots fired right over the bow.
I'll take them. They're deserved.
All right. And whenever this show starts to cool off, we have to bring in the man who brings a little heat back to the fire. It's UrW1ck3D Hawt.
Heyo, what's up, chat? What's up, folks? What's going on? And hey, you know what really gets my dick hard? I'm talking video games with my friends. Welcome to Gaming After Dark. Let's go.
Yes. And playing some old school Halo. We'll talk about that in a second. All right, and last but not least, we got the panel out of the way. Let's bring in our esteemed guest, the host of Game and Set Live. It is Mr. KY Bob.
Oh, wow.
Hello, everybody. This is KY Bob here. I heard Gaming After Dark was getting a little rough. They needed a little KY. I said, KY's not what you want. You want Astroglide. KY sucks. So let's get it going. Let's talk some games. Let's talk about how console wars are dead and the platform wars are started. Let's do this.
You greased your ass with Astrobot?
Oh, my God. I
That's
love it.
Astroglide.
Oh,
Dude, that was
okay.
fucking awesome.
Well, at least it vibrates.
Mhm.
There's an Astro in there somewhere.
All right, you can tell this show is already getting ready to be derailed. It's going to be a good one. All right, let's catch up with the chat real quick. We got some amazing people in there, including a person I haven't seen in quite some time. But let's say hello to Wesson. He's hanging out with us tonight. We've also got Drave and Narrow in the building. My good Canadian brother, Mr. Dizzy Delta, is hanging out in the chat as well. We've got the usual Mr. Talos Ray in the building. What's going on, brother? We've also got Pink Piggles in the background. What's going on, Pink? Enjoyed the show the other night. Great topic of conversation. And we've got Fabio Morim. There you go. Fabio's in the building. You might know him from Game Set Live. Good to see you, Fabio. It's been a long time, my brother. And like I said, it is great to have KY here. It's been a long time coming. You know, I was thinking about who to guest on the show, and I do apologize, KY, it took me so long to get the invitation out because I was like, man, I haven't had you on the show yet. And I'm like, man, it's overdue. So I'm glad you could accept the sort of the last-minute invitation.
Yeah, ratings just go down from here, brother. I'm warning you.
The ratings go
That's
down.
right,
I don't think
baby.
my ratings were ever up, so I think we're okay.
No, they got me on the
Roller
show.
coaster's
It's
going
really
down.
gonna go down. Really, as long as I'm here, it's going down.
Now, when
Fast.
your podcast is already at the bottom of the septic tank, it doesn't matter where the shit lands at this point.
Well, I mean, you
All-
do go
all we
up.
can
when you
do
get
now is
sucked
go up.
by yeah, I mean, you do go up at one point because you get sucked up by the truck that takes you away. So there is a little bit of an upside.
Hey,
This
at
podcast, this podcast is like the first boner. It's only going to go up.
Hey, at
Yeah.
least when you go down the toilet, people can hear you because you got a mic when you go down there.
Yeah.
I felt that one.
There's a running joke going on here with Proto Foxy because he joined us on the Halo Community Game Night on Sunday. and he jumped in, and of course he doesn't have a mic, so he sends us all a message like, yeah, I'm playing in the game, and he's in the party, but he doesn't have the mic. So Sir X-Men's been giving him the gears ever since Sunday. So.
Oh yeah, you gotta make him get a mic, dude. That's the only way to make a person get a mic, man.
And the thing is,
how can
like,
you,
like
how
I
you,
said,
Chat, this is what we call bullying.
Xbox or
This is what bullying
PlayStation
is.
without a mic? How can you do that, dude? You can't do that.
Because my dumb ass forgot to buy the damn adapter. That's what
That's
happened.
like
You gotta
that's
get
like
the one
leaving
that
your
dangling right there. Look, that's all you need right there.
that's
Look at
like
that.
leaving your house without your dick, man. Come on.
Well, I mean,
Whoa! I think that's a discussion for another time. I think that's a whole other podcast. We gotta find out the origin story before we even get to that question.
Carrie's dangling the carrot.
there was this time in college.
Yeah, this time in band camp.
Is that like that? Is that like that time in band camp where you got
Yeah,
to
band camp.
It is, Sir X-Man. We know you played the trombone quite when you were young.
Yeah. Actually, I was a DJ.
Tastes like nuts.
Tastes like nuts.
It is a little nutty.
Is that
Sometimes
corn?
you feel like a
What's the
nut.
corn in there?
Sometimes you don't.
Like I said, so all the shit for the me not having a mic is definitely deserved. I will take it with pride.
He's like, yeah, fuck it. I'm not coming back to another community game night unless I'm rigged up and ready to go.
You better be strapped up and ready to go. Oh, did I say that out loud?
Yeah, swing the cheek, comes that. He's on the pavement.
We know how you take it now, Sir X-Man.
We
All
Gotta
right.
be trapped. Bob!
Let's start off. I guess let's get right into the topics now. We've addressed the chat. What's going on, everybody? Good to see you here again. Thanks for attending the show. Let's get into the first topic, and it is People Can Fly. A little studio, you guys might remember the people behind Gears of War Judgment. They were at least the co-developer on that particular game, and their claim to fame after that was Bulletstorm, which kind of bore the formula of Gears to a certain degree, made a first-person shooter, added some really cool kill mechanics, and went on to be at least a modest hit that's since been remade. But anyway, People Can Fly, obviously a studio that is very familiar with Unreal Engine 5 or the Unreal Engine in general. Seems to be a little bit of talent there, and obviously they, they've been making a few games here and there, that sort of thing. But right now, it looks like Sony has acquired them, or at least, I don't say acquire them, but they are paying them to bring back an old IP. The question is, they haven't announced what it is. It goes by Project Delta, and they said it is an old hit PlayStation IP. Now, a lot of speculation say that it could be Resistance, or it could be a new SOCOM. I don't know. What do you guys think is up the sleeves of People Can Fly? Does that get you excited at all? I mean, obviously, Insomniac has said they are not doing Resistance, but that doesn't mean Resistance can't come back. Now, who knows? Do you think it could be Killzone, perhaps, either? So, what do you guys make of this announcement? Is this a good thing? I mean, obviously, bringing back a beloved IP has got to be exciting. If you're a PlayStation fan. Anybody?
I would be more pumped about the Resistance than I would the SOCOM, to be honest with you.
Okay.
The whole reason I bought a PlayStation 3 was because the Resistance really, it kind of spoke to me, and it was like what I was into. And then after we got the PlayStation 3, we found out that me and my wife couldn't log in at the same time and play together. She had to be a guest, so no, she never got any advancement, or whoever's number 2 didn't get anything because you couldn't log 2 people in at the same time on PS3 like you could on Xbox 360. So when we found that out, I finished the Resistance games by myself, and we sold the PlayStation 3. But I loved it while I played it, and I never understood why it didn't come back. Probably same reason Days Gone sequel got the shaft. But I mean, I see just as many other games that are exclusive to Sony's platform not selling any more than those 2 franchises sold, and they still get sequels. So I don't know. I'd like to see that one come back.
Yeah, you make a very interesting point, because I mean, both SOCOM and Resistance were fairly popular games. I mean, if you had a PlayStation 2 and a PlayStation 3, it's a good chance that you owned one of those franchises, if not both. And the fact that they had multiple sequels tells you that they were obviously hits at some point. Now, whether they were mismanaged, that's another thing entirely. We saw the drop off with SOCOM 4. Resistance just kind of disappeared for some weird reason. I mean, it was a really good shooter. Some people would argue Resistance was better than Killzone. Some people might say vice versa. I think they were all solid IPs that for whatever reason just kind of went, just disappeared. I mean, I think Killzone 4 was a bit of a step backwards. It didn't feel like the Killzones prior. But, SOCOM, I think personally is the one of this list that makes a lot of sense, that would make a ton of money. I think for Sony, it would make a lot of money with the old school fans like us who remember the game quite vividly. But I also think because military shooters are kind of the rage these days, they could potentially at least not only have a great single player campaign lined up, but they could potentially be a hit if they have some decent multiplayer. Heck, I'd even go for a remake of one of the more popular SOCOM games if it came down to it. I mean, I know we hate that word nowadays. It's like a bad word, but I'd take a remake over nothing at all.
Yeah.
Let's not forget though that so if it is SOCOM, then I step on the rake here myself and assume that we're talking about a live service game. Which would
they haven't said anything about the type of game it's going to be, other than they will bring back, one of these potential IPs.
Well, we know their love for live service right now, though. They had a bunch of titles in the works, and then they canceled a bunch of titles. But I do believe they're still going down that avenue. But I don't know if Sony realizes this, that live service games that aren't on every platform don't succeed. So if SOCOM comes out, it needs to be everywhere for it to hit big.
Yeah, it's got to be free to play.
Yeah. If it's on just PlayStation, you're going to get the couple million dedicated fans, and then that fan base is just going to taper off if you don't keep up with content.
Yeah.
And if it's free to play,
separate
a lot of
like Halo Infinite, you know what I mean, where it's the same game, but you could choose to download it at that specific time, but it's a free to play. You know what I'm saying? Like the multiplayer versus the campaign.
And
something like that.
Like they did with Halo.
After you buy the combat pass in Halo Infinite, you don't lose what you've paid for. All you have to do is select the one you want to work towards and play the game.
Exactly. It could be something of that way. They would do it all. But honestly, I think it's I have a feeling it's going to be like Killzone or Resistance before it's actually SOCOM. That's the order I would put it in, just because if we look back at the games they've made, we got Bulletstorm, you have the Gears of War Judgment, and People Can Fly did also, what is that, like all RPG, kind of like Destiny. It's like a shooter RPG. Outriders. They did Outriders.
Right.
If you notice,
I loved Outriders. I love that.
It's a good game. I liked it too. I liked most of those games. But if you kind of look at the way they're made and the graphics and like everything they're doing like that, I feel like it more falls into Killzone or Resistance more than a realistic military shooter like SOCOM. Maybe that's just like the vibe I'm getting based off their past history, but like I feel like a Killzone or a Resistance is right up their alley.
Terry, do you believe with Bob that if they do make this game, it needs to be on multiple devices for it to be successful? I mean, right now, PlayStation is sitting at just about over 100 million units. Is that right? PS5, something like that?
Yeah.
Something like that. I mean, the numbers come out all the time. You don't know what to believe, whether it's 100, 140, or 80, or whatever. It is what it is.
Whatever, yeah.
They'll probably, because Sony's been doing this, they'll probably just put it on PC and PlayStation.
Well, what kind of numbers did the top shooters right now have on, say, Steam, for example? What about what's an average top shooter now with people online a day? Like 20,000, 30,000?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I mean, Halo at its peak, I think, would barely go above 30,000 people.
Yeah, you probably get into like that, like territory.
So I don't necessarily think you got to be in multiple places to be successful. I think if SOCOM can sell 5 to 10 million copies easy, at least even based on the single player. And again, but you have to make it good. The thing is, you have to make it outstanding, and you
It's gotta
have
be
to be
fun.
committed to it. You can't go in 6 months in, and because the numbers don't look all that great, just give up on it. Like, this is a problem that studios have. We saw how like Ubisoft stuck by Rainbow Six Siege, and that game was almost DOA after a couple of months. And look at it now; it's fucking huge. Now, I'm not the hugest fan of Rainbow Six Siege. I prefer the older ones, but I can't deny the fact that that game has been going for how long now?
Because it's a tournament. It's a
second
tournament game. That's why it's been going that long. They play that game and they have big tournaments for Rainbow Six. Siege. So that's why it's still so huge.
Well, but it also still took a long time for Siege to get there, though. Too. I mean, that
yeah,
game,
we know,
like
but it
said,
became what it is. It became what it is because Ubisoft put the time into that game.
Right. Oh, I'm agreeing with you. Don't think I'm disagreeing with you.
Like Concord, you could have kept it out there and put time in it.
No, you couldn't. Please.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ.
Okay, I have the current numbers on Steam right now. Players playing right now. Counter-Strike 2 has 685,000.
Oh
wow.
Dota 2 has 263,000. Marvel Rivals has 168,000.
God damn.
Monster Hunter Wilds has 159,000. Repo has 134,000. I've never heard of Banana, but it's got 102.
Ooh, it's not really the game. It's more of a pleasure.
Don't even go there. Leave it alone.
Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, believe it or not, he's got 99,000 people playing right now.
Wow.
What the fucking fuck is that?
And PUBG Battlegrounds has 96,500 people playing.
Oh,
it's still up there. It's still up there.
Rust has 89,000. And Apex Legends has 60,000. Notice how nobody in that top 10 on Steam right now is playing Call of Duty. So, and
that's very telling.
Counter-Strike, Rainbow Six Siege, and PUBG and Battlegrounds. So there's five shooters out of the top 10 right now.
Wow. That's interesting.
Counter-Strike's a little engine that could, yeah.
Well, Fortnite is not up there?
No.
Fortnite is on Epic Store. It can't be on.
Right.
Yeah, it's Epic.
Right, I forgot about that. But still, it's interesting to know that Call of Duty is not in that top 5.
And PUBG
Call of Duty sells a ton. But I mean, the one thing, I don't know if you disagree or agree with me, but the problem was every time you bring out a shooter nowadays, right, or you bring out these games, you have to know your audience. Yes. Like the one thing I'm gonna say, and after playing Halo this weekend, it's even more vehemently clear than ever before. The fact why Halo is failing or has failed is because they didn't cater to the audience that made Halo big in the first place. Okay? They forgot about us. They started making the game to try to appeal to people that weren't Halo fans to begin with. And this is mistake number 1. Like when you build a game from scratch, you build a game that's intended for a kid's audience. It's 13-year-olds or whatever, the AD fucking HD generation of morons that can only have a 10-minute fucking attention span and got to have fucking flashy goats and unicorns and fucking pink rifles in every game. Make a game for them, sure. Great, go ahead, make it for them. But Halo was never about that bullshit. Never was, right? Halo was never about fucking rabbit ears and fucking cat ears on your helmets, right? Halo was visceral. Halo was raw, and that's when you play that game this weekend. You guys have to agree. Didn't that feel great? But it felt raw. It felt like the way it should be, right? It felt great.
Old school.
It wasn't because it's unaltered. It's not touched. It wasn't. That's the game that we got as we were growing up, and that's the game that we still remember and admire. But when you start changing the formula to cater to a fucking audience you don't have, it's like fucking it's like Harley Davidson trying to sell their fucking bikes to fucking 19-year-olds these days. It ain't happening because they're not really into bikes anymore, right? Like
unless you're a yuppie, believe me, I've seen some assholes out there with Harleys that you shouldn't have. But I digress.
but you get my point, right?
I do.
You don't try to sell steaks to vegans. Right?
The same thing happened in Battlefield after Battlefield 4 when they came out with that 1 and 5 and pretty much even this one, they took away from their tradition. So they lost a lot of it, you know? And up until the point where they got to like this year or a little bit earlier, later last year, they started to thrive. Now they're going back to their roots. The same thing happened to Battlefield. Let's try to be like everybody else. It didn't work. It did not work.
Yeah.
So stop trying to be like everybody else and be who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, to me, if it's SOCOM, make SOCOM great, but make a great campaign and make the game the way people remember it. Don't try to sell this game to a lot of. If the new audience wants it, they're going to play it. Okay. But make it for the people that built your game. Make it for the people that remember the game. Make it for the people that have some sense of, like, they want a fucking realistic style military shooter. They don't want fucking, you know, unicorns and cats and fucking bumblebees chasing around people in the fucking game. Right? At least I certainly don't. I fucking hate that shit. You know, I knew it was going downhill when Gears of War started coming up with that fucking crap. The most masculine shooter on the fucking planet has got friggin' shit in there that looks like it came from a gay bar. Like, what the fuck?
Yep.
Yeah, how you gonna have robots in a Gears of War? How you gonna have robots in Gears of War? Come on, man.
I mean, it's like they were the enemies. I mean,
see, even an 8 agrees with me. Don't change your fucking product for an audience you don't have. Build it for the ones who want it. Yeah, but see, that's the hard part, right? The companies don't get it because they just chase the bucks. They don't realize if you make a good product, the bucks are going to come anyway. You will make money, but whether you make, you know, who cares if the game's a hit and you sell fucking 12 million copies? Who gives a fuck if you don't sell 25? Like, if the 12 million people that fucking bought it love your game and they play it every day, it's better than 20 million people that buy the fucking game, but half of those people don't play it after the first week because they moved on to something else. You know what I mean?
So would you say that the experience you get with the Master Chief Collection is still pure Halo?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And
it's not without its flaws.
Halo 5 and Infinite is where it went off the rails. Right?
To some degree, right? To some degree.
Yeah.
I think
it varies for every person.
Halo 5 Guardians had some of the, and I don't care what people say, had some of the
you got it going. You got them going.
Oh, had some of the best multiplayer I've seen in Halo since Halo 2.
It's my fault. I'll pick that one.
That multiplayer. Okay, we're gonna let it go. We're gonna let it go.
That was good.
I'm the opposite. I feel like Infinite was starting to get it back.
You know what?
Oh no, it's just gonna get
Me and you need to have a Halo 5.
Save the train.
We need to have a Halo 5 Guardians, and you play with. Tell me if that multiplayer ain't good.
Yeah,
no comment. I see. Yeah, you scared.
I'll play it with you, and I'll tell you it ain't good.
Listen,
blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
You know, this is sign language for moan and groan, right?
Nah, I say about moan and groan.
Isn't that the same motion that gets your old lady to come?
That's right.
Everybody's trying it later on today. Hey, lady, open your legs.
And flip it over. Okay, we done.
I learned something new.
Anyway, don't be kind of going off the rails here because we're kind of down the sideways path here. We're into Halo. We're talking.
You didn't ask me what I was looking for them to make.
Look, I'm excited. All I know is I'm excited that People Can Fly is going to make, or is going to bring back one of Sony's iconic IPs, and that's a good thing. I mean, these fucking guys got to get some games out, pull something out of their ass sooner than later. It's been a fucking long time. So yeah, that's a good thing, and those IPs do need to come back. You know?
This is what I want them to make, other than SOCOM. Take some of those titles that Sony has, like the ones from Psygnosis, because they still have the license for those games, and make me a new Colony Wars or a G Police. That's just my preference. Okay, that's my preference.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Okay,
let's just go around the round circle. If they're making one of those three, Resistance, Killzone, SOCOM, which one would you take? Perry?
Any of them, but I would go with SOCOM.
Okay. Proto?
All right. The logical one, because I'm gonna cheat and do two here. The logical one would obviously be SOCOM. That would be the easiest for him to do. But my dream one would be for them to resurrect Killzone, and especially with People Can Fly. And it's funny that this came up and kind of following it because I've been replaying Gears and I'm on Judgment now, and I'm like, damn, they actually did a damn good job with this. And then I have both the original and the remastered versions of Bulletstorm and love Bulletstorm.
Yeah.
So I feel like their forte would probably be more with a story-driven one, but I think the safe bet for them is probably SOCOM because, like everybody else has mentioned, is going to be more of a, if they're going to take it down the live service route, but then it also comes with the caveat, it's going to be live service. They at least got to go cross-platform with PC. Otherwise, it's just going to fail like Concord did.
Okay, you said three choices, right?
Is this SOCOM or Killzone?
I'm gonna throw it for a loop. Everybody would love to have a new Resistance, but and we've been waiting for them to make it. Make a Bulletstorm 2 and make it co-op. I'm gonna throw it for a loop. Make a Bulletstorm 2 because people still want another Bulletstorm.
I'm one of them.
Yeah, but they're bringing back a Sony IP.
Yeah, it's got to be a Sony IP.
Hey, guess what? It's gonna be a Sony IP now because Sony owns them.
The first Bulletstorm was co-op.
They're bringing back an old Sony IP. They're not remaking Bulletstorm.
Correct.
Well, depends on how old they're gonna go back, though. That's the problem.
I believe
Are they gonna go near back? Are they gonna go near back, or are they gonna go way, way back? That's the question. We don't know.
Jesus. All right.
Hey, but it's the truth, though. I mean, but we don't know how far they're gonna go back.
All right. You've been playing with the Nintendo Labo too long.
I don't have no Nintendo. The only
Man
thing
likes
I
his
had,
boxes.
the only thing I had was a Switch and a GameCube.
Nice.
UrW1ck3D Hawt. Resistance. SOCOM. Killzone.
Ooh, easy one right here, guys. It's gonna be Killzone. It's got a weird feeling about it, man. First person, Bulletstorm's first person. They're doing it. It's what it is. And besides, Guerrilla's never gonna go back. Wait, was it Guerrilla who made?
Yeah, that's Guerrilla. They still there.
Guerrilla ain't never going back to Killzone, so they gonna take that one. I feel like that one's the easy one to grab instead of ripping Resistance away. But that's what I got to say. It's gonna be Killzone, baby. And if not, I'll twist my nipples live on air.
And if it is Killzone Hot, then you need to start picking lottery numbers.
GameComplainers say, hell no, you just got a technical foul for that. Technical foul, buddy.
You yellow carded your ass.
No, you guys ever seen 8 Crazy Nights? Technical foul.
All right, good picks. I like it. How about you, KY? What would you you look like a SOCOM kind of dude.
Like jelly.
No, well, I mean,
I think you said Resistance earlier.
I played SOCOM on my PSP, and I think the fans would love to see a new Resistance, but the developers would love to get their reputation back because of the Killzone fiasco about the demo showed at E3 and the game everybody actually got. So
yeah, Killzone. I mean,
it depends on what pulls harder, the fans or the studio. But I like to see Resistance, but I do think they're probably going to lean into Killzone.
Yep. I like most of the panel. I think, honestly, I'd love to see all three. But realistically, I think it is going to be SOCOM. The reason why, because, again, the whole Project Delta, it kind of makes sense. If you think of the code name Delta, just kind of applies to military shooter, Delta, Echo, Charlie, Bravo, that sort of shit. A lot of the teams and a lot of the games are often nicknamed Delta, like Delta Squad or Delta Mission or what, that sort of shit. So I have a feeling it's SOCOM. Plus, I think SOCOM would lend itself a lot more to a modern day audience because military shooters are fairly big. And SOCOM would appeal. Like, I think SOCOM would have more general appeal to people that aren't even fans of SOCOM to begin with. It'll be just super exciting for the people that love the franchise. But for new people jumping in, they're going to be, like a new Sony IP. Now, the cool thing is, if people People Can Fly build it. Is it possible they make a first-person and third-person version of SOCOM? Because I think that would be really cool if we actually had a first-person version of SOCOM. In the past, they've always been third-person, right? But if they could build a first-person version of SOCOM as basically Sony's, Call of Duty answer, they might be onto something there if they can build it and build it well. I mean, key's going to come down to multiplayer. I'm sure the campaign will be just fine. The key is how they execute multiplayer. It's got to be one, great maps, great design. The controls have to feel tight. I think if they can have the controls that feel, as tight as they were with Bulletstorm, I think they're going to be in good. But I'd take any of them. But I think it will be a SOCOM game, honestly.
And
here's the thing:
dedicated servers too.
People can fly. Do know how to use Unreal Engine, and here's the thing: how long are we gonna have to wait for this game to be made? That's the question.
Right, that's another question.
Ever.
Yeah, will it come out on this generation of consoles? Probably not likely. I'm thinking probably in the next iteration, right?
Yeah.
So there you have it. All I can say is we're hoping for the best and crossing our fingers, but hey, any game is always a good game. Let's just hope that it is an actual good game. Now, let's give a shout out to the chat because we got some amazing people joining us in here now. We got Hockey Fan in the house. Dizzy Delta is here as well. What's going on? We got Frank Fazan 928 is in the building. What's happening, brother Frank? And Steven Mac 23 hanging out with us as well. We've also got let's see here. We've got Files of Horror. Our good buddy Dreadpool is in the building. What's going on, Dredd? Thomas Ray is here. We got our good friend Axel from an Iconic Video Game Podcast on Friday nights. Axel hanging with us. Fabio Morim is here as well. And the list goes on. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. You guys are amazing. Thanks for your love and support. Hit that like button on your way out here and all that stuff. Yeah. All right. This wasn't on the topics list, but I did want to ask you guys, have you seen this new trailer for Silent Hill F?
I don't know if I have. I think I
haven't yet. I've only just heard about it recently. I haven't gotten the chance to see the trailer.
It looks pretty fucking cool. I was just want to ask because I just kind of crept up on me and I saw the trailer. It was really, really cool. Apparently, it's supposed to be one of the first Silent Hill games to get a rated MA18 or some kind of rating too.
Dude.
So
it looks like it looks like Ghosts of Tsushima meets The Ring. It's like it's like Japanese horror, dude.
Give me my precious. I need my precious.
It's awesome. Not that Ring, the horror movie, The Ring.
I know it's
you got your rings mixed up.
He's talking about his cock ring.
Looks good.
Reminds me of a great joke. Have you guys ever heard about the 3 rings? So there's the engagement ring, the wedding ring, and then the suffer ring.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, there's a lot of us in there.
Yeah, what was that one?
When your wife come and slap you, wicked, you in trouble.
That's right. That's right. Don't worry, I got the OJ black gloves upstairs. I'm gonna take care of her ass.
Damn!
Man, did anyone ever pull a Homer Simpson and put a steaming hot onion ring on their baby's finger?
You guys, you remember the episode of Gaming Beyond the Box where Fork Boy's wife came on camera and beat the shit out of him?
Oh, that was hilarious.
Wow.
The slap heard around the podcast world. I don't think that poor boy was ever the same since.
He wasn't.
I think he lasted about another half year and just disappeared from existence.
God.
He got his ass slapped back into the shadow realm. Jesus Christ.
Funny.
Shout out to you. Buddy.
Oh, yes, dear. Yes, dear. Oh, yes, dear. Yes,
shout out
dear.
to Fork Boy, one of the good guys in the community. We love Fork.
Well, you want me to go make you some pancakes, baby, huh? Baby, make some pancakes.
Yo,
Yeah, good pancakes.
I think we just unlocked some repressed memories from X-Man over here.
Never that.
Yo,
Never that.
PTSD. It's okay, Sir X-Man. This is a safe place. But you can talk to me like
X-Man.
that, Daddy. You can talk to
Stop
me
the
like that.
recording. Come back to us, please.
You can't be hurt anymore.
Can we get a folks up in here?
Okay.
Folks, listen to Stand Mine, folks.
Yes, just any further thoughts on Silent Hill F? Anybody excited for those of you who did catch the trailer? I thought it looked pretty fucking cool. KY kind of summed it up in an interesting, but yeah, kind of a way, like fucking The Ring meets what did you say it was?
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's not going to be any samurai shit in it, but it definitely has this like Japanese girl, and she's running away from these crazy looking demony fucking crazy lady looking fucking things, and yeah, it's a trippy ass trailer to the game.
You know, Silent Hill is coming to Xbox, right? Y'all saw it, right?
Yeah. Fabio
I think this Silent Hill F is coming to multiple platforms.
Don't you see Perry's name though? It's
the
done.
remake is coming over. Yeah.
See you later. Pack it up. Move out of town, folks.
Fabio made a good point.
See
It definitely has
season.
that Fatal Frame feel.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty cool. I'm going to put that one down on my interested list for sure. I need to know more about it, but it looks like it's still a ways out. But it is, at least it's a cool new trailer, and for those who get into that genre, it's a good get.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, let's see here. I'm
Just
trying to look for that other
bobbing
studio.
It's just me, Oos. It's just me.
Can't fucking
Hey,
find
I
yours.
feel like KY Bob's over here is like fucking banging out to some Dracula real quick. That's the vibe, the headbanging vibe.
I'm part engineer, part musician, so I've always got music in my head.
Take it off.
In the
All
back
right.
of KY's Dracula.
Well, I guess we'll move on to topic number 2, which is one of the big ones for tonight. Obviously, a big IP drops this week. A very beloved franchise, or at least it used to be a beloved franchise until it seemed to be like it was a yearly annual update. Talking about Assassin's Creed. And, of course, Shadows, which is the latest by, I do believe it's Ubisoft Montreal, if my memory serves correct. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but it's one of the bigger studios. And it's a fully fledged Assassin's Creed. Mirage came out, what was it, last year, the year before last, which was a bit of a shorter, more back to its roots kind of formula. But now this is kind of in the vein of Odyssey and Origins, a much larger campaign centered in feudal Japan. Hence Naue, which is the lady ninja assassin, and Yasuke, am I pronouncing that right? The giant black samurai dude. So you can play as one of those two, I think, throughout the campaign. I think you can switch back and forth if my memory serves correct. Has anybody here had an early review copy by any chance, or has had any preview with it, or know anything about the game so far? I mean, it's obviously had some delays. Not sure what the delays were about. It was supposed to come out last year. Then it was moved to early this year. Then it obviously got moved to now, which is close to spring. So it's had several delays. Some of it might have been to do with the whole, the backlash it got when it was when people saw the first trailers. Anybody have any issues from previews or anything like that?
All I can say is thank God I have Ubisoft Plus, so I don't have to pay full price for this game.
There you go.
Okay. So you wouldn't buy this at full price though?
No, I would not. Not with the track record since Valhalla.
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody here got any excitement level? Are you picking this thing up? See, Perry, you said it was like already on sale somewhere, I think, this morning.
Newegg has it right now for $54.99 digital for the Series X.
Wow.
Ooh.
If you use coupon code XVDACSPP. I know we're not sponsored.
No, unfortunately.
Well, we should be.
No, I'm waiting for the downloadable content of the Tom Cruise skin. I want the last samurai skin, and then
I'd totally buy it if that was in there.
I want my appropriation.
That was a great movie, The Last Samurai. I actually liked it.
That was a great movie. I can based on the answers so far and the look on everybody's face, nobody seems like they're overly hyped for this game. I mean, it's got some big shoes to fill. But the funny thing is, when Ghost of Tsushima came out, a lot of us said Ghost of Tsushima was the Assassin's Creed game that Assassin's Creed should have been. At least that's how I felt. Ghost of Tsushima is, in my personal opinion, one of the best open world sort of hack and slash samurai style games that I've ever played. I love that game entirely. And I'm even hoping that if this game is even somewhat close, I mean, that's kind of the direct comparison, right? But, you know, is it going to feel closer to an Assassin's Creed game, or is it going to feel closer to a Ghost of Tsushima game, which is going to get direct comparisons with because of the timeline and the stuff, right? You know, there's two different styles of play in this game. Again, you got Yasuke or whatever, who's obviously going to be more of a tank-like, you know, get in your face, up and at 'em samurai. So going to be a lot of intense sword battles. Naue, more of a stealth type of assassin, which to me, she's going to seem a little more closer to the more traditional Assassin's Creed style gameplay. So from what you guys have seen of the game, who would you want to jump into the game with first? Who's the one that you're most excited to play as, if any?
I'll go real quick because I ain't got much to say on it. To be honest, I never really play as a tank at all in any game. Doesn't matter if it's a hero shooter. Doesn't matter if it's like first person or like it's just a single player game. So I'd probably go with the woman character just because of her approach with the stealth and how it feels more like a samurai-ish, or not samurai, but it just feels more Ghost of Tsushima like when the way I approach that game. I'm not even the biggest Assassin's Creed fan. I haven't played all of them. I kind of hopped in late. I think I tried Odyssey and like Valhalla, and I thought they were great, but I never really put too much time into it. But I think I might want to give this game a go, but I think I might wait on a sale. Like Frank said, like give it like a month, and I swear to God, it's dropped like $20 easily. So for me, I'm just gonna wait and see, and maybe watch the reception and wait from there because I'm not willing to dish out the cash now.
So let me ask you, what was the last Assassin's Creed game that you really enjoyed?
Ooh,
Odyssey.
Odyssey,
definitely.
Odyssey for Bob.
You know, I did put a good amount of time in Odyssey, but I'm gonna be that guy. I kind of liked my time with Valhalla a little bit more. Just it's a slight bit more, but yeah, I don't know. Valhalla for me. But I gave up after a while because I was just like, this is just too much. I'm overwhelmed. I'm just like, I don't know.
The game's got pretty massive there. Heck, I think somebody was saying 35, 40 hours into this one, and they still feel like they're nowhere yet. So, Proto, how about yourself? What's the last Assassin's Creed game that kind of got your boner popping?
The one before the first one? I'm not an Assassin's Creed
Origins? Fan. Are you talking about Assassin's Creed Origins, the Egypt one?
No, I'm talking about. I'm just not a fan because I played 1 through 3, and all 3 of those games bored me to tears. So this is one of these ones I'll just kind of sit on the sidelines and kind of cheer on whoever's excited for it because hey, if it's your bag, you do you. I'm just not an Assassin's Creed guy and never have been, and just go.
I like what Frank says. PC games used to make me ubi hard, and after Valhalla, I remain Ubisoft.
Ubisoft.
Wow.
Ubi flaccid.
Oh my
Sir
God.
X-Man, what was the last Assassin's Creed game that you got excited with?
He was there in real time.
None. I tried Assassin's Creed, but it's just, I don't know. I've played 1 through 5 a little bit, and to the 5th one, and it's like I just couldn't get into it. But I did want to say something. Ubisoft, you would be perfectly fine getting the rights to Tenchu Stealth Assassin and making it, because you do have stealth games on lock. And that would be perfect for you. That's all I'm going to say.
They have a stealth IP in Splinter Cell that they refuse to revitalize.
Right, that is correct.
Beat me to the punch on that one.
Oh my God!
The game that everybody keeps asking for is the game that Ubisoft seems to refuse to fucking give us. I don't.
Yeah, like make Beyond Good and Evil 2. Come on, man.
Well, that's been in development for now. What, close on 10 years now?
Probably longer than that. Shit.
Like 20.
I don't know what's going on with that game. That's like
because that's a great game. We all know that.
It's not just Microsoft that can't get their fucking shoes out of their own ass. Let me tell you, Ubisoft is right up there with them.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, Perry, how about yourself, man? What was the last Assassin's Creed game that you got excited with?
I like the weird ones. I like 3 and Syndicate. Syndicate was funny because you could beat the crap. Yet there's a level. I mean, there's a mission where you got to beat the crap out of this like 8-foot tall guy in daylight, but you can't get caught. And then you have to drag his body without getting caught in daylight. I thought that was funny. I don't know why, but
yeah, Syndicate was pretty cool.
What's the one with the pyramid?
Honestly, I actually enjoyed, oddly enough, I enjoyed the one that was very broken at the start, and that was the one that came out on the Xbox One first. That was, what was it called? Unity, right?
Yes.
The one
That was the one
France,
that was
right.
so
I actually thought that was pretty cool, actually. And it looked amazing, too. It was one of the first, games that really had that next-gen look to it when it came out on the Xbox One. And like I said, it had a lot of flaws that it got made fun of, but I actually thought that game was pretty good. I mean, the original games itself, I love the settings. I love the original guy, Altair, Desmond, Altair, that sort of stuff. The franchise changed over the years. I mean, I think one of the biggest complaints we've seen with recent years is that the games are really big. They're really massive, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But if you're the kind of person that loves Assassin's Creed and you're only going to play like 2 or 3 games a year, yeah, 120 hours into a game probably sounds great. But for the average person like myself, like, dude, I can barely find, 40 hours to put through a game now. So, and I don't like the feeling of going into a game and sort of running through it for the sake of just trying to beat it. Like, I do like to explore, like with Avowed, for example. I'm taking my time and I'm trying to do as many side quests and I'm trying to go off the beaten track as much as possible, trying to, really, explore the game and complete it in as much facets as I can. And I'm kind of like that with Assassin's Creed, but then Assassin's Creed gets very overwhelming. Like, especially when I got to Odyssey, it was like, holy man, there's these icons popping up on the map all over the fucking place. And then you got battles on the land, you're fighting animals, and you got fucking ships going, and it just became daunting, and that's the fact that my biggest gripe, I think, with when it came to Odyssey was that it felt a little too much like it wasn't an Assassin's Creed game because of the setting, because you didn't have the actual, you didn't have the dagger up your sleeve kind of thing. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, they're all pretty good games. I know people that buy and love each and every one of them. I did enjoy Mirage. I haven't beaten Mirage, oddly enough, but I thought that was actually done really, really well. And I am looking forward to buying Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'm trying to block out all the noise, like a lot of the crap that's going around the internet, like, people talking about historical accuracy, this, that, and something else. Like, I understand how the Japanese audience are probably a little more overworked with it than we are because, of their ties in with their own culture and stuff. But for me, I just want a fun video game. I just want to get lost in the world. And I think both characters look like a blast to play. I'd probably go with Naue because I think the stealth aspect and the ninja side of things is a bit more appealing to me than the big lungering Hulk guy, going in with the sword, just kicking the shit out of everything. But I think they both will have very fun elements, and I'm looking forward to the game. So far, reviews have been actually pretty good. So they're in the high 8s, if not higher, and that's pretty good. That means it's a decent game, probably worth your time. But like you guys said, it'll probably be on sale in 6 or 7 weeks anyway. So if you don't buy it on day one, you're probably going to get it cheap pretty soon, or it's probably going to end up in fucking Game Pass in about a year. So, yeah, you can take it as it is.
I'm surprised nobody said Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Nobody said that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're remaking that one, aren't they? Isn't there a remake coming to that one right now?
No, I don't think so, no.
Yeah, I think I heard
still play that game.
Number 4.
It's funny. I saw a video on YouTube where they were showing what Ubisoft could do 10 years ago with Black Flag, but they couldn't do now with Skull and Bones.
Yeah, Skull and fucking ass.
That was that's
Skull
sad, man. Well, when they were trying to make that other one, they were trying to capture on the fame of Sea of Thieves. That's when they decided to try to make that. Because Sea of Thieves got hot. That's what happened.
Funny you say that.
Sea of Thieves is the shit.
Because despite today's hardware, does anybody feel just kind of on a side note, does anybody feel like games are actually regressing as opposed to moving forward in a lot of ways? Like I felt like we had games that were pushing the graphical envelope further in the last generation than we're seeing right now. Like games to me literally don't look a whole lot better, and in some cases they actually look worse than some of the ones we had last generation.
You know, I put a post on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it these days, a few days ago. And I spoke to this point right here because I've kind of felt like I hadn't experienced current generation graphics or next gen graphics yet because of the display that I was playing on. I've recently got a 43-inch Samsung Odyssey Neo G7, which is it's a monitor made for gaming. It's got variable refresh rate, 1 millisecond response, 144 hertz, HDR, everything. And
Pornhub runs great on
it. Pornhub is amazing, but I see it now in my games. My games are noticeably much better. And I wasn't getting this on my older LCD. So
I feel that. I want to build off that point, KY. I feel like I think we've reached that limit in gaming with graphics. We're not going to see a jump like the PS4 to the PS4 Pro and Xbox to the Xbox One. X. We're not going to see that again. We've pushed the envelope to 4K. I think we need to stop focusing so much on getting it to a 4K aspect for every game. I think right now we've got that kind of checked in. It's dialed in nice. I think we need to work on the frames. The frames, it's like this generation and a little bit moving forward, maybe the next generation and a half, they need as a whole to focus on the frames because that is where gaming is. It's shifted. When we had the 1080p to 4K, 4K TVs were just coming out. Of course we wanted everything fucking 4K because all we were doing was 30 and 60. But now you offer a 60 and 120, and then people are on like the like KY said, 144, and then you have higher monitors as that. We're in the era of frames. We're not in the era of fidelity anymore. We have mastered fidelity. It's time to move on to the new era.
No, you know what I think it is? Believe it or not, I think the problem is they got so many gigs now that it's like we need to fill up the gigs. We need to put more stuff in these gigs. We need to do this and do that instead of working on a game. You could have a smaller game that just looks good, and you ain't got to make it so damn big, filling up all the gig for the game. Make it smaller and use some of those gigs that you're putting to fix some of the problem, because the more gigs you use, the more bugs you are going to have in the game. Tighten the game up. Make it playable. Make it fun. You ain't got to go through all that.
You know, it's funny. Consoles are trying to achieve that 4K with a good frame rate. And you look at the PC gamers, I've got a 4080 Super. I'm not playing on 4K. I'm playing on 1440p with everything maxed out because it looks just
better,
as good as 4K.
It's the G spot, baby. It's the G spot.
It is.
KY.
It doesn't overwork your GPU. Your GPU stays nice and cool. You're pumping out 200 frames a second, and it's nice.
Isn't that fun? Right. Isn't that fun?
It's fun, baby. It's really fun.
Yeah, I mean, there's been an awful lot of focus on technical issues, but I mean, a big part of it is just graphic designers themselves. You know, it's like how Naughty Dog has always been able to sort of always be ahead of the curve, and it's always made some of the most impressively looking games dealing with like the hardware that they have. And then there's other teams out there that can't seem to achieve that sort of that mo-capture look or that certain texture look and things like that. You know, like just Naughty Dog, I think, still sets one of the industry standards. In my personal opinion, you guys may disagree with that, but I think Naughty Dog is still has that bar for their games. Guerrilla is probably not that far behind. I mean, you look at their character graphics and the way that they look and they talk and all that sort of stuff, just insane. Some of their environmental graphics. You look at the Horizon games and things like that. But there's very few studios that can have that level of fidelity in a game that runs very smooth. That sort of thing. So
and UE5 is very resource heavy.
Yeah.
Consoles are having a hard time with UE5 because
as far as like realistic graphics, is where we haven't seen as much as we thought. I mean, Hellblade 2, definitely one of the lookers from this gen. Game that certainly pushed the envelope quite a bit.
I like to look at Hellbusters.
That game looks insane, but that game didn't have a lot going on either. Like, I think the most impressive, if you ask me, was that Matrix fucking demo that they put out.
The Matrix demo, yeah.
That to me, that was the most impressive looking thing I've seen this generation still. You look at that game. Now, Grand Theft Auto 6 can look anything like that. Oh, my God.
Watching the clarity of facial details change on the fly the closer you got to the person on the street was just jaw-dropping to me at the time from a technical standpoint. I thought it was amazing.
And you're talking about that Matrix demo, right?
Yeah, the Matrix demo, because it really used I don't know what they were calling it in the Matrix demo, but it's a form of DLSS and FSR where it takes everything that's in the foreground and it lowers its detail, because you don't really need to see the detail of a tree that's 200 yards away. You need to see more detail on something that's 2 yards away.
Mm-hmm.
So it cuts it down. And in the Matrix demo, they really focused in on that. You were able to actually see the facial detail get better the closer you got to the person on the street. And it was amazing. It was a technological achievement, I believe. And
even when you got in the car, I was like, oh my God.
Yep.
And how big the city was. It's like everything was so detailed throughout the whole city. I walked out of the car and I'm just walking around the city and I'm checking out everything. And I'm like, everything looks totally different no matter where you go. It wasn't copycatting each other like you see in some games. Every structure was different.
That demo scales too for whatever hardware or console you're playing it on.
Yep.
So you can download that demo and play it on PC and you'll be shocked by how good it looks, because it scales automatically. The tech inside that engine, it scales automatically with whatever hardware you're playing on. It just takes a full advantage of whatever you got it on. So if you were on an Xbox One and you were trying it, you got what you got. If you're on an Xbox Series X, you got what you got. PS5 or a real beefy PC.
It even scaled good on the Series S. Because you were able to put it on Series S at the time. And I was like, wow.
See, I attribute the part of the problem being with the fact that teams are so large now and the budgets are astronomically high that, sometimes games are better off when the teams are smaller, because they're in tighter knit environments where they have more control over the aspects of the game. Where I kind of feeling like it must be absolute chaos when you have one of those massive studios that has, so many departments, and you've got, you're talking sometimes 250 to 500 devs within one roof, and everybody's trying to build parts of a game, and you got people from different backgrounds with different work ideologies and that sort of stuff. And, you're going to have that person that, can work that 12 hours a day and it doesn't phase them. And you're going to have somebody else that's already bitching and whining after 4 hours, and they're sitting there on their fucking cell phones half the time instead of actually building the game they're getting paid to build. I think there's a lot of things wrong. And I guess, I'm speaking out my ass to some degree, because I'm not a developer and I haven't been in the studio, but I can only imagine. I'm just using real work-life experience, right? Every job I've ever worked in, you've always got people that toe the line, that go above and beyond. And you've always worked with a lot of fucking scallywags, a lot of idiots, a lot of people that they're there for a paycheck. They don't give a shit about what they're doing as long as they're getting paid. I can't see that being any different in a games industry either. There are people that, for example, there are people that are passionate about Call of Duty, or they're passionate about Halo, and they love working on the project, and they get up every morning and they're excited to go to work and work on that game. But how many people do you think they hire to, especially the contractual side of things? The people that get brought in to do a job for a couple of months are like, and then they're going to lay me off and they're going to go somewhere else, and they just don't really give a fuck, or maybe they're new out of school, they're not experienced enough and don't know the game engines well enough to really get in to build things.
I was gonna springboard off what you were saying as a response to what Sathius said in the chat. Lazy ass developers. These people that are making these games, it is a passion. You only get into you don't get into game development to make money. You get into game development because you love it. The problem is they've got these games have these high budgets, and the people whose job it is to work with the engine the game is on, a lot of them don't know what the hell they're doing, or they're new to an engine. That is bad management and bad placement by the people who are supposed to be familiar with UE5, Sundrop, all these different engines. They have to know it. That's why Coalition's games look so good, because them guys live and breathe Unreal. You need that.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this, and I've been saying this for about 5, 6, maybe even 7 years when we started having problems with video games. And y'all might mess with me. I was like, what happened to the game testers? What happened to them? These were game testers.
You're looking at it for us.
But no. But I'm saying this for reason. There are game testers that used to test these games through and through, over and over again, and find all the problems. That's why Grandma's Boy is one of my favorite movies. But
people are now called early reviewers and give it shitty scores.
Right, because when the game comes out, these game testers would play on whichever console they were. Okay, one guy was on PlayStation, one guy was on Xbox, because when they were doing, multiple multiple consoles, and they would test the game out, find the problem, tell them where the problem is, see if that problem leads to another problem, and then a coder would come in, look at the code, find out, and fix it, and then moderately repair if it caught somewhere else. What happened to them in the world? What happened to them?
I don't know.
And that's where our problem started. You get somebody to come in and test the game, but you don't give them a job. They don't give a crap. Well, they're just coming in to get a paycheck. They're just finding little things for you to fix, and then they know they got to move on.
Well, because now it's easier to outsource and contract.
Yeah. And you had to have those game testers back then because everything was on a cartridge and you couldn't patch that shit.
Yeah.
Now you can patch game files on the fly. Day one patches. You can patch every day if you wanted to. I mean,
and that's the problem. You still need testers. You still need testers out there. You still do. Because at some of these single player games, there's no excuse for a day one patch. There's none.
Yeah.
None.
I feel that.
Yeah, people are bringing up in the chat too, and I'm a little bit scared about. I think it's going to be good, and it could be potentially bad, and that's the involvement of AI in game development.
That might make it worse than what it was.
There's a lot of potential for it to be good, but at the same time, there's a lot of potential to go wrong. And what I'm scared about is that really good, talented devs are going to get laid off, or they're going to get their roles diminished because corporations are going to try to push this shit in whenever possible. They will, because they know that it can be faster, easier, they could save money, but at what cost? Where does the quality control come in? That sort of shit. So, like I said, it's exciting, but at the same time, a little scary. And we're seeing some of the voice actors talking about that, right? And speaking out against it, Ashley Birch and a few different people. They own the IPs. So when it comes the integrity of their what they do, and how are they going to get compensated if they're going to go using their voice but an AI to kind of synthesize things or replicate shit in the future. So there's a lot of weird question marks that are going to come up with this stuff.
And here's the sad part: the more the AI learns about us, the end is going to be near. That's all I'm going to say.
This is how we get Terminators. Damn it!
Yeah.
Battlestar Galactica with the Cylons.
Speaking of, the T-1000 is making his way to Mortal Kombat right now. So
yep, it's happening.
Oh yeah.
No, but it's funny. It's funny that you bring that up, Newf, because it's like we were just talking about this a couple episodes ago, and talking about AI and shit. It's like, it obviously if it was going to be used the way, if it was going to be used as a useful tool to aid and stuff like you said, like game testing and shit like that, that would make sense. But goddamn well that the industry, like you just said, industry is going to do that. They're ram jam it anywhere else they fucking can just to get actual people, the human element, out of there, and so they don't have to pay them. So it's going to be like it's going to be less care and handling when it comes to games like new games coming out. We're just going to be seeing AI slopped correct.
I think
and Terminator.
Here's the double-edged sword in that. The more you have AI do the work of humans, who's going to buy stuff if ain't nobody got no job? How you going to make money?
The human element in it.
How you going to make money? You can't.
You know what would help with that? You know what would help with that in the industry? I think they need to start regularizing reusing assets in a video game. You see people online bitching about it all the time. We used this asset last time. This is just like Spider-Man 1 from 2018 and fucking Spider-Man 2. It's like, dude, it's the same game. You're not going to have this fucking amazing graphical fucking leap or mechanical leap. Like, they're pumping the games out. Like, it is what it is, and it's faster. Why? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying you got to pump them out like fucking Gears 1, 2, and 3, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we need to regularize reusing assets.
It's funny because you mentioned Spider-Man on top of it, because it's it's like the game itself. I mean, the setting's the same, right? It's New York.
Exactly. If it works, you make a sequel, do it.
Yeah.
If that's your plan, do it for a sequel. Like, it works, and you can get them out in 5 years. That's like this, and especially Miles Morales, same fucking thing. Like 3 games, dude. That's honestly, it's probably kind of how Obsidian's kind of doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have Outer Worlds, then you have Avowed, and then you're gonna have Outer Worlds 2. Maybe I'm crazy, but they're kind of all the same. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah. How many different ways can you do a tree unless you're in different geographical settings, right?
Ooh, we can only drill a hole.
Hey, dude, put in there what Till Death said.
Am I AI? Maybe I am.
Proto, he turns on the camera, red eyes.
I'm sorry, we can't talk about this anymore, can we, Hot?
No, he turns around to grab something he's plugged in. He's charging.
Yeah.
It's a hell moment.
Taking the battery cover off the
didn't
dragon's
have
head.
the mic because you didn't want nobody to know you were a robot and AI. Is that what?
I'm gonna get behind Perry. I'm gonna get behind Proto and think, drill chop.
Crazy stuff. I guess just kind of getting back on track though with Assassin's Creed. Look, I suspect this game is going to do some numbers, but is it going to do the kind of numbers Ubisoft is hoping for? I'm not quite sure. Some people have already outright they said they're going to boycott the game. The way you guys are talking about it already doesn't sound like there's a lot of day one hype. Like, you're going to get it if it's on sale, you're going to play it if it's in Game Pass. And I always said, like, that's your telltale sign right there that whatever they did wrong. Because I know when this thing was announced, when they announced that trailer like a couple of years ago, they said they were going. They said we're going to feudal Japan. And the excitement was kind of off the charts. I mean, for me, I was like, man, like, what a perfect setting for an Assassin's Creed game. It was kind of like meant to be, right? A match made in heaven, as you say. And now kind of hearing that sort of attitude, it makes me wonder, like, where did things go wrong? And what does it mean if this game, like I said, is in the bargain bins in 3 to 4 months? Ubisoft has had a lot of misses lately. X-Defiant being one of the biggest ones. They were counting on that to be a huge game for them. It was a free to play too. And when you're giving something away for free, and it's still not drawing numbers, you're in trouble. So, what happens if this game kind of flops though? What do you think, Perry?
I don't know. If it flops, it's probably because it's going to be cut and paste again.
Like, is Ubisoft eventually going to have to start selling their assets? We're seeing these rumors that perhaps, they might have to sell IPs or.
I think they're already in talks for doing that. That company, there's no way of saving that company the way that it is right now. A game won't save it. It would help if they're trying to sell that IP. Like, hey, we have like the best game this year. It's for, the whole IP is for sale. How much Microsoft? How much Sony? How much whoever else? Tencent. But it's not going to help save them. I mean, they ran into a lot of problems over the years, and I think, like we talked about, they're already in talks to get rid of these IPs. So it depends.
Yeah, because isn't there an article running around that they're saying that they're even in talks with Microsoft?
Oh yeah,
yep. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah,
yeah. So it would just help sell that IP, but as far as Ubisoft, I think their days are numbered.
Yeah.
Okay. Who has the smoke detector that's beeping, telling you it needs its battery replaced?
I'm not telling you.
Not me.
I keep hearing that beep, and I'm like, I know that's not mine. I know it's not because I don't hear it.
I got nothing beeping in here.
It's only coming from their X fans.
There's nothing beeping in here. I know the wife's already replaced the batteries in the dildo, so that's good deal.
Well, at least we know my mic works.
God damn.
Dude, you're never gonna lay that down, bro.
No, I deserve it. I deserve it. I would say it might be my heart monitor, but that's internal. I wouldn't be able to hear that anyway. I'd only just feel a kick in the chest.
That's right.
But Ubisoft's been in trouble for a while. You can only get enough of Assassin's Creed. Where's that other shooter game that they had? Was it Defiant or whatever it was? The Division. Where's another Division? Where are updates and expansions and updates for Division? You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna talk about Splinter Cell, but they got a lot of other IP that they can make. Ubisoft's been around quite a while. So you mean to tell me you can't make no other IP? Okay,
Rayman.
you can have yeah, right. Just keep Just Dance somewhere else. We don't need that no more.
Hey, that's a good game.
But
it's the only game you're gonna be moving and grooving, and when you in the home, baby, but
you can still have Rainbow Six Siege and make another Rainbow Six Vegas style game. You can do that. You know what? You stop that. Don't you dare diss Rainbow Six, the original style. But you can make that. I'd love to see a Ghost Recon original style, not this Wildland bull crap that they put out. That's not Ghost Recon.
Original Xbox, dude. So many Ghost Recons on the original Xbox, bro.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
And remake my favorite game from them back in the day, other than Rainbow Six, Hawks. I love Hawks with 4-player combat, and you're dealing with the Ghost Recon world. It was so awesome. Ghost Recon, you're trying to protect them down at the bottom, and then they help you from the bottom. If if there's planes and sites, you had full-blown missions with 4 players in the sky. Come on.
See, isn't like that's the crazy thing, right? Think about the 360 generation, right? And how studios weren't afraid to just make any type of game. And if the game wasn't a huge success, they moved on from it and went on to another one. But now the expectation is that every game that comes out, it's got to be rated, 8 to fucking 10 in scores, and it's got to fucking sell 10 million copies, or it's a write-off. And it's like what the fuck has happened to gaming, where like the indie developers are seem to be the only guys now that can get away with just making whatever they want and just moving on. Not every game is going to come out and fucking hit. So does that mean you just got to line different teams and different budgets? But go ahead and say we're going to make 2 or 3 AAAs. We're going to try to focus on a couple a year, and then the rest we see what we throw darts at the wall and see what sticks. Because back in the 360, you think about how many new IPs and how many sequels we got in that generation. It's insane compared to what that gen was compared to this gen. I mean, not a lot has changed outside of the teams have gotten astronomically large and the budgets have gotten stupid and out of control. And it also seems like a lot of studios are not managed very well anymore because the fact that it's taking so many teams now over 5 years to make anything blows my fucking mind. And then you got a studio there like Hazelight, right? Small fucking group after making a game of the year in 2019 with, was it 2019, 2020 with It Takes Two? You know, This is like their fourth or fifth game now in like less than 10 years or something. It's like, that's insane. And quality games at that and fun as fuck. I was going to say that's a segue into the next topic because I was going to ask who has played Split Fiction, which looks like it's absolutely amazing from what I've seen so far.
But on this part, how many indie games do you see that come out brand new day one, don't have no update day one, and they run flawlessly? Don't have any problems. I have not seen one in about in over 2 years or whatever. They just come out, you play them, don't have no problem. So what's wrong with these big boys with problems when the game comes out?
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
It's ridiculous, man.
That's what that's all that is. It's too many cooks in the kitchen. You know, all these big budget games. You know, they want to have these huge teams and try and throw in as much as they can, and that goes back to the whole damn thing where they're trying to use up every bit of space they can. And then we were talking about fidelity and all that stuff. That's all it is. It's too many cooks in the kitchen. And like Newf was saying, you're contracting these guys that don't, Newf and maybe even Bob might even mention it too. Because I'm just kind of spitballing here, but it's like these guys don't, they're contracted. They come in, they don't know shit about the engines, like coming out right out of school and shit, just like the other guy said. They just don't get, they're not invested. They don't care. These smaller, indie titles, they come out the gate and they're done well because these people actually give a shit about their game.
And I do find that funny and amazing because a lot more people are honestly, I'm serious, buying and supporting more indies than they are the big boys right now. Because one, they work when you buy them, and they have replayability. You
notice we're seeing we're not seeing games fail on a storytelling aspect. We're not seeing games fail like because of its content. We're seeing games fail for technical aspects. Games failing because they release so broken.
Yep.
So, I mean, the passion of the developers is there to make the game they envisioned. It's the people they're hiring to put that vision in to make it real that are just, they suck. Unless you're talking about your really big developers that have a track record for always knowing the engine they put their games on, like, again, the Coalition and Unreal.
Mm-hmm.
It's just...
Yeah, there's never been a Broken Gears that's ever come out. Story might have been bad.
Right. Judgment, no, a lot of people didn't like Judgment, but it was still solid and it didn't have any flaws.
Their multiplayer in horde mode was excellent, though.
Oh,
again, you bring up Judgment, because I'm replaying them all again, and I'm playing through Judgment right now, and it's just like, I never got the gripes for it. I think maybe it was because of the way they kind of broke down the gameplay itself into more bite-sized segments where the levels all didn't run into each other. That would be the only bit I could see where they could complain. But Judgment was just as solid as Gears 1 through 3. And yeah, it still baffles me to this day. It was like, as I'm playing, and my wife's watching me replay it too, and she's like, this is really good. And I'm like, yeah, and people bitched about it when it came out, and I'm like, I don't get it.
Well, the reason they bitched about it because your main characters weren't in it.
But you still had Baird, and Baird is just as fucking interesting as Marcus. And I actually thought the juxtaposition with Baird and Cole especially, and then the two other characters they had, I forget, Sophia and then Paddock. That
Sophia was a badass though. She was a badass.
Absolutely. Well, that was probably one of my favorite characters in the game was Sophia.
It was that arcade / they made co-op play competitive because they scored everybody by how well they did on each.
That's true. Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that rubbed everybody the wrong way, but I didn't have a problem with it. I enjoyed my time with Judgment. Me and the
KY, that horde mode that they had in there, was some of the best horde mode.
Oh hell yeah!
Yes, it was.
Hell yeah, it was.
Oh my god! But people don't like somebody doesn't respect and Halo 5 Guardians.
We ain't talking about Halo 5 Guardians anymore. We're talking about Gears 7. We're not going to talk about this shit showing how bad they did my boy Locke in Halo 5. We're just going to go beyond that.
See, he's worried about the story instead of how the multiplayer was.
No, it translated into multiplayer for me. And multiplayer felt like shit, especially after coming off of Halo, the old school Halos.
Halo 4.
Yo, I loved Halo 4.
You know, it's crazy when it comes to Halo, right? Because after playing this weekend, you see how different each Halo game is from the one before it, though. And it's wild.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like I said, you can jump into any Call of Duty and they feel remotely the same, but fucking jump from Halo 1 to Halo 4, and it's like a new fucking game every time you played it.
Yeah, it's like taking acid.
You know, a lot of people don't know, but a lot of people don't know, but Halo 4 was made with Bungie's assets, but it was 343 story. So
yeah,
and I loved it. Yeah,
you got issues.
Throw rocks. Throw rocks. That's why me and you are on the bottom row together, buddy. We got issues out the ass.
I ain't got nothing coming out my ass except the crap from the fiber I eat. Okay, buddy.
Yep. Right, and all those bullets you ate last night on fucking Sunday.
Too much information.
I know, right?
Wow.
Dear God.
But if you look, real quick, Battlefield got a big jump with this update, dude. That's all I'm gonna say.
Starfield.
I looked at how many people are playing right now. It's a lot. Oh, I'm ready for you Thursday, Mr. Game Complainer. I'm ready for you.
Yeah, we got to get another community game night going again soon. It was awesome. Hopefully, we can get even more people to come out and play. It'd be great.
That'd be dope.
And this time I'll have a mic.
Right. Yeah, whatever.
Proto gets a mic. Proto, you should get the mic, and then you just never shut up the whole fucking game. Just annoy the shit out of people.
It's either I'm going one way or another. I'm going to either just never shut up, or I'm just going to be completely silent then, too. It's like, are you there? And I'll pipe up every now and then go, yeah.
Well,
I hate that when people in the party and they never talk. They say like 2 words before the match, and then they never speak after. And you're like, "Did that person still here? I see the person playing the game, but I don't hear them speak ever."
Probably when he talks, he's gonna be like those little kids that end up coming into a damn lobby and won't shut up.
That's right.
There's nothing, even back then, there's nothing worse than when kids coming into a lobby.
I'm teabagging your mom right now. Hot pockets. Hot pockets.
All right.
No, Mom, damn it, I said pizza rolls.
I wish Ubisoft all the best, honestly. Like, they've fallen on a bit of hard time. Some of it's brought on by themselves. Some of it is outside of their control, but hopefully, if you like Assassin's Creed, hopefully you're going to give this one a try. I really hate to see any game fail, certainly for some silly ass reasons, but it is what it is. Stuff outside of control. You either want to play it or you don't. You want to play it for full price. You're going to pay it for whatever. It's on you, right? At the end of the day. But so I hope the game does okay because I'd like to see more future Assassin's Creed games, obviously, and for them to explore different things. But we'll see how that goes. Anyway, like I said, the game is out on Friday, so pick up a copy or wait till it goes on sale. It's your prerogative. But wish them all the best with that, certainly. I hope they don't go under. Hope they don't. Yeah, so. T-Rock says, now that Xbox is third party, you just need Discord and it won't matter what system play on for a game night. Yeah, they do have Discord. I'm not a big fan of using Discord, but I still prefer the Xbox parties. But hey, as long as it's crossplay, you can still jump in the game regardless if people can talk or not. So
that is correct. Just tell them what lobby you in.
It's just more fun when you can chat with people. I mean, that makes it all.
You can put up a game server and just a separate game server in there, and then have your game night server where you can tell people to jump in.
Yeah, for the game started on Sunday, I had a little freak out right before we got into the game because everybody's jumping in the party and we're trying to set the fucking game up, and everybody kept jumping out and then going into game chat and then going back and forth. And I thought, fuck, we're never going to get this game off the goddamn ground at the rate we're going. And
I remember that one where you had 20 people trying to get into play. I was like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
But
I forgot what they were playing.
It's good. Yeah, hopefully, like I said, Ubisoft brings back Splinter Cell at some point in time before people forget exactly who the hell Sam Fisher actually is. I guess one more topic. This is the one I meant to talk about earlier, meant to segue into it. Sony is setting up a new studio within its PlayStation Studios umbrella. It's called Dark Outlaw Games. It's a studio headed up by former Call of Duty veteran Jason Blundell, who's confirmed that they're in the process of hiring more staff. Details are not sure about the first project, but again, it's another studio with a little bit of talent, it seems like, behind it. So we'll see what they're going to come up with. I assume that Sony has learned a lesson with some of those, games as a service kind of fucking thing. So let's hope that they're going to work on something cool. Any speculation, guys, with this team? Any excitement at all here, or what do you think?
Hopefully they aren't working on fucking live service slop. Let's just say that right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
true that, player. True that.
Yeah.
Well, they had two good live service choices they could have had out there, and they didn't want to do it. The Spider-Man and the Spider-Man verse thing, which would have been perfect for a live service.
Yeah.
But they canceled it. And I'm sorry, I don't care what nobody say. Twisted Metal would have been a perfect live service.
Well, let me ask you this, guys.
What about The Last of Us online?
Right.
Nope.
Exactly.
Don't need it.
Let me ask you this. Maybe how come companies, I mean, I know this is still going to be a costly venture too, but why don't companies just make a short snippet, like one level even, like one multiplayer level of the game that they want to make, and they put it out there as sort of like a live beta, and then basically what they do is they're gauging feedback for it. So if the feedback is really good, you go ahead and you make the rest of the fucking game. But if the feedback is not, you say, you know what, we just ditch it here. We spent maybe 6 months or whatever to put together this one level of a game and just feel it out, see what people like. If they don't like it, do you see what I'm saying? Without basically spending 5 years and investing $250 million to make something you don't know is going to fly. Isn't it better to have small turn gain and long term gain? Like why don't companies start that moniker? You see this all the time now with Xbox, like in Game Pass. You see all those games that are like, what do they call them? Like what do they call those trials or whatever you play in the game?
Yep.
Now, with most of those games, they're intended to come out and be a full-fledged game. Like you're basically playing almost the entire game. You're just kind of like testing it as you go along. But
when was the last time?
Talking about here, right?
Ready? When was the last time you seen Sony with a multiplayer game other than the Nathan Drake games? Made for them. Yeah, the Uncharted multiplayer. When was the last time you seen any game in this generation or the end of the PS4 generation with a Sony multiplayer game made by Sony?
That was Sony IP, a first party?
Yep.
Helldivers.
And that was it.
Yeah.
But that was running on somebody else's servers, though.
Well, yeah.
That wasn't running on Sony servers.
Yeah, but that's about the closest thing we're going to get.
So,
Uncharted 4 actually had pretty good multiplayer.
Please, real quick.
What's that?
The Last of Us had a decent multiplayer that somehow got canned. Factions 2 was supposed to happen. They got canned. Uncharted 4 had surprisingly good multiplayer, and we haven't seen on
PS4 servers. That was still on PS4 servers. So, but I think Sony has a dedicated server issue. That's what I think their biggest problem is. That's why you haven't seen them make any multiplayers with their IP. I've been saying that for years. They have not been working on their inside infrastructure for multiplayer.
Did they specifically say that this game that they're making is a live service, or are we just kind of like assuming, or just kind of like going based off what we might think it is a live service?
It's all assumption, you know.
Okay. Because honestly, as a plate, yeah, you go, Proto, you go.
No, because I'm just saying, because I'm getting corrected in the chat. Helldivers isn't first party. It's just that Sony has the IP itself.
Right.
I'll correct it. But
I got you.
You know,
it's first party now though because they bought the developer.
Right.
I think as Sony fans in the panel and as Sony fans in the chat, I think we're just more or less looking for what their usual shebang is, the story-driven, narrative, over-the-shoulder game. Like, I think that's like that's more or less what I'm looking for. Every time they put a game out, I'm like, okay, we know what you're known for. Is this what's gonna be? Okay, you're trying something different, live service. Okay, great, it's not working. I just want them to get back to the basics, whether it works or not. But just get back to it.
I want them to go back to PS1. Like, give me variety. Give me the small games. Give me variety.
Give me quirkiness.
Enough of this PS3 extension.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Colony Wars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, why not? I mean, look at Astrobot. Nobody thought that was going to be game of the year. We were like, this is like a packing game. What are you charging people for? It turned out to be a really good game.
Because the first Astrobot was free, right?
Right. So,
yeah,
but the new one,
the
new one ended up being good. Now it's a pack-in, ironically enough. The new one was good, and it's like, well, this is what like old Sony represented. You know, I'm tired of this PlayStation 3 extension. It's like they extended the PS3 into the 4 because everyone was on 360. Then everyone flipped over to PS4 and like, oh my god, these games are so great. And it's like, I'm glad you think those games are great because I was on 360 and PS3 playing all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then on the PlayStation 5, the 5 really doesn't have an identity. We're rehashing the 3 and the 4 again. And it's like, what are we doing here? Like, PlayStation 5 has no identity. So
you're right.
I think going forward, they need to have an identity for the 6. And I think
you do
that with variety.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what game? You made me think about something.
What?
Maybe they're in here. They say they're going to do an old IP, right? Maybe they're there.
Well, that's people can fly.
People can fly. Right? Maybe they're there to remaster or remake the God of War trilogy.
Sony got no identity, and Xbox got no goddamn consoles.
Maybe they're there to.
Hey, the Xbox does have underwear, though. Did you see me unbox the digital edition? It had white underwear.
Yeah, but they said they're there to make an old game. Maybe they're there to make the God of War remastered trilogy.
Could be. Could be.
You know what I'm saying? They got the talent to remaster that game and remake it. It'll be quick, simple. You know, for them to make with their talent, it's not hard. And maybe they'll, you know what I'm saying? That would be a get for people that would sell. Because people never played the originals, which are great. I know Newf would buy that day one for his PlayStation. Right, Newf?
Yeah, boy.
See? Oh, he's doing something. I know Perry, he's grabbing the day one if it comes out.
What, God of War?
God of War remastered?
I don't know. Bought that game 100 times on PS3 and I didn't even beat it.
Why would you buy it 100 times?
Because they kept re-releasing it, because that's all they do.
Because
you're just as bad as people buying Grand Theft Auto 5 all the damn time.
And that was me, because I want 60 FPS.
Come on. Who in this day and age gives you free upgrades to games? Come on.
I feel like John Cena. Like, what do we get?
Right.
What do we get? What do we get? Oh, man.
I'm keeping my music.
I'd buy a God of War remake. I'd buy a PlayStation for
That's
a God of War
singing
remake.
On there.
But if they put it on PC, they'll make money too. Because
I'll
PC
play it there
players
too.
play God of War. Yeah, I'll buy it on PC. Day one.
Look, remakes, man. All I can say, remakes and remasters, like, they want to go ahead and make them. It's up to you to buy them or not. right? Like that's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of generations that didn't have access to the original games are going to get a better version or a more definitive edition, then so be it. Again, if we're suckers that keep buying into it, that's on us. But we heard some of the guys at Sony say, like, by putting out these, like I said, a low investment, but a high rate of return for some of these games. If it helps fund other games, then it's not the worst thing in the world. Again, it's gotten a bit much. I mean, I definitely think like remakes of games that are less than 10 years old is a bit extravagant. But I mean, stuff that's from older generations, stuff that was built on inferior hardware and stuff that had bad frame rates and stuff that had shitty graphics. I mean, I'd love to see like Mario 64, like rebuilt from the ground up with today's technology, and more added to it. A game like that could be amazing, build the original Halo from the ground up with the best graphics possible. Add stuff to that. Stuff like that would be fucking cool, in my opinion. Not just, here's high resolution graphics and a little bit of textures, but I'm talking like fucking remade from the ground up with the best graphics possible. Stuff like that, I'm all for.
You're talking to a person that bought the Tomb Raider remasters. I got both of them, and I love them. And the next month we're going to be getting the Capcom series with the Power Stones and the Bilsteins and the rival schools. Man, come on, because they didn't have multiplayer for those games back then. They were couch, but now you can play the multiplayer. That changes the game for those games.
Well, but then again, that just rips right off of Newf's point, though, doesn't it? Because again, this is a lot of those games were stuff that was on inferior hardware. Like I get down what Newf is saying here, like and going to Sony especially because you're remastering shit like Last of Us 1 and 2, and it's like
really?
Like 2. Yeah, like really. I mean, first off,
Last of Us 1
Last of Us 1. It was remastered on PS4, and that's already backwards compatible if you're playing on PS5. So I mean that shit doesn't make sense, and I think that's foolish. But then like going into like the older stuff, like you're saying with the Capcom stuff, and then even with like the original God of War trilogy, though, a lot of those were two of them were
20-something years. They were over 20,
so that makes
years.
sense.
Like my Tomb Raider was almost 30. It's almost 30 years. Well, actually, it is 30 years old.
And
I'm not mad about that.
Yeah. So no, I get that, but yeah, I agree. It's like I think the excessive stuff, like we're getting a remastered Days Gone, and and maybe they have something there where it was like, okay, it didn't do well the first time out, and maybe we'll use this. It's low risk, high return, and then maybe this will gauge for a sequel that back and forth forever and a day now. But who knows? I think go ahead.
One they should bring back. I wouldn't mind a remaster of Uncharted. Now that wouldn't be bad. That would not be bad.
But I think that's what it is, though, with remasters. I think it's you can't just look at it as a broad subject. I feel like every time a remaster comes out, you have to look at the game individually for what it is, and then base your decision off that one game, not broadly over the whole subject. Like you said, this game would be great. This game doesn't work. You can and you will do this game, but you can't do that game. So it's like when you make it a broad spectrum, it really makes it hard to talk about because we contradict ourselves. But like you guys are saying, like we should just this game, boom. Should it be remade? Yes or no? Okay, it checks off. We should be this one. No. That way, it's kind of.
You want to know something funny? Tomb Raider Remastered has sold more than that Astrobot game. It's almost
you bought all the copies.
You bought all of them, X-Man.
They're almost at 5 million copies, dude.
Yeah, 5 million in Chicago.
That's still more than Astrobot.
I saw the warehouse. I seen it.
Yeah, folks, we got breaking news, folks.
Because if you really think about it, all Astrobot really is a new style of platformer that borrows from different platformer ideas. You know what I'm saying?
They did most of it better. Astrobot was incredible.
And platformer is old school.
That's right.
It's
So
the
it
first.
resonates with everybody.
It really is one of the best platformers that's came out since back in the day.
True.
You know what I'm
That is
saying?
true.
So that's why it has that nostalgia feel. But I'm upset because it should have showed better than what it did. It really should have. And you can thank the Fortnites, the Call of Duties, and those other games for it not making it where it's at, where it should be.
That's right.
I'm all for the Days of Gone remaster if it means it gauges new interest and gets renewed love and support for the franchise and then bring a sequel out. But if it doesn't,
and get a couple of new modes too, Newf.
Yeah, if it doesn't end up basically helping to fund the sequel, then it's all for naught, in my opinion.
Yeah, fuck them all. Fucking free to play games.
Hurts.
That's right. Put your hands on the walls, boys.
Fuck them all.
Going
It hurts.
And, I think if you're gonna remake any games, go back to the PlayStation 1 era in particular. Games that didn't even have analog controls, and games that had really fucking shitty ass graphics. Like go back and remake the original Gran Turismo, but make it with like fucking new age today's graphics. You know what I mean? Like shit like that. Like make cool ass games. Go back and make the original Jack and Daxter with fucking today's amazing graphics engine, shit like that,
Why do you think I played Tomb Raider with tank controls? I love it.
But, but that's the thing, though. That would take effort, and it's they're taking the path of least resistance. You know what I mean? And it's like, and as far as reeling it back into the topic about this new studio, they haven't announced anything. They just announced that they're a new studio, just like People Can Fly, bringing back an old Sony IP. It's like we don't know anything, so it's all just speculation at this point. We could spend hours wish listing and dream listing everything we want. Like I'm with Perry on a lot of it because we both mentioned Twisted Metal all the fucking time. Is that going to happen? Probably not.
Nah, they canceled the studio.
A new Motor Storm, baby. Bring that back. Yeah.
Woo, Jet Moto, just like Dizzy said.
Oh, you suck. Yeah. You suck.
Moto.
Mentioning that game. You monkey balls.
You suck eggs, X-Man. You suck eggs.
What is happening?
This is we're having a moment. Wow. We're having a moment.
I saw you
at the screen.
In State Street. Don't even try. I saw you hanging out there in your lederhosen.
Yo, Lady in the Tramp me. Put your camera on it, Lady in the Tramp me, motherfucker.
Putting ketchup on a hot dog.
I'm gonna take a hot dog and put it halfway in the screen.
Oh,
me in the middle, brother.
Oh my god.
Y'all have to be from Chicago. Y'all have to be from Chicago to know where we at came, but what we talking about. We all from the Chicagoland area, so they know those.
Yeah, that's right, dude. Sir X-Man swallows hot dogs, no tears.
No dick, no ditty, man, no ditty.
No,
he said no dick. I heard it.
I heard it with my own ears.
You got no dick.
The dick, man.
Okay, I gotta do the commercial. Sausages in a blanket.
If somebody starts talking about baby oil, I'm out.
Oh my god!
Hey, there's no talk about baby oil with KY in the house. I'm telling you.
Yeah, put that baby oil on. You gotta start seeing the ray tracing all over me.
There you go. That's a great new name for a podcast if you start one, KY. Call it Lubricated Gaming.
He's in Kentucky. They got to grease the pig.
Everybody on this panel's got to have a name that's kind of like with oil, like petrol oil or fucking
Johnson & Johnson.
You could just call me crude oil.
Johnson.
10W40.
Canola oil.
Oh my god, dude. W40. Dear God. Get that PB blaster, folks. PB blaster. I'm gonna get it. That was cracks.
It's got to be 50 weight, folks. It's got to be 50 weight.
It's got to be synthetic 50-50.
Why you gotta say synthetics?
because that's the only. I want the good shit if it's going in my crack.
You know they're making synthetic women, right? So you ready for
Hey,
that?
if I'm getting fucked, I'm stopping by CVS because I like to look pretty with some makeup before I get gone. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not touching that. I'm not touching it. I'm leaving it alone.
Good.
All right, well, we've come to the end of sort of the topics for tonight. We've had some pretty good discussions and everything else, and I think we're going to call it at that. We're going to get to the ask question part of the night. By the way, so just an update on that. Handy Andy is going to basically end up doing his own thing. So we're going to leave it to Arnold, Safehouse, and Cletus to kind of run gaming after dark, and Handy Andy will probably come on and do his own thing in the future here. So, yeah, bro, let's get into the questions. If you have them, now is the time to drop them in the chat or put them on screen, and we'll be happy to help you. By the way, we did have a super chat earlier tonight that I did not get to. So let me get to that right now. Thank you to AEC founder Mr. Click. He drops $5 in the chat. Go ahead, Gamecomplainers.
Let me know and I'll game with you. Not Sir X-Man, that old fart sheets.
Dang.
Wow.
Damn.
There you go. Something about, I think it's like letting him know when the next game night is or something. He'll game with us.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. So, yeah, now it's the time to ask those questions, unless anybody else has any further topics or any type of discussion you want to lay down before we close the show.
I just got to is Handy Andy cheating on you tonight, Newf?
No, Handy Andy has not got any other hands up his ass tonight.
Okay, I'm just checking.
He's looking for a bigger hand.
That's it. He needs those fat fingers.
No, he's probably mad because
we got a question coming in courtesy of RWK88.
Arnold, if you could remake one of your movies naked, which one would it be?
Oh my God.
I'm going to tell you the one that I would want to make naked, and it's going to be funny, but it's also going to be very awkward, and it's going to cause a lot of commotion. It's going to be Kindergarten Cop. Can you imagine can you imagine me and a teacher with all your clothes off and you got to talk to all of these little kids and then the parents are there? It's going to be very hard to explain it, but it will be very horrifying and very funny at the same time.
Jesus.
I don't think that would make it to the theater.
Yeah, Arnold, you'd be definitely going to jail, buddy.
DVD. Straight to DVD, and that DVD would only be sold in porn shops. I'm telling you.
What do you mean? We watched it 7 times over at Epstein Island.
Not even porn shops.
I was trying to tell the
It'll be on the
kids
deep web.
that this here is Snuffleupagus from Sesame Street.
Stuffalophagus? You said Stuffalophagus?
Yeah, more like fucking Stuffalophagus.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Oh, my bad, dog. My bad. My bad.
No, it'd be called Stuffing Arnold.
Oh, God.
Oh, damn.
Stuffalophagus.
That's a cliffhanger.
We got a question courtesy of the Gamecomplainers.
Oh, Arnold, how big is Batista's,
I want to know which Batista you were referring to, like the actor Batista?
Well, yeah, he's a wrestler and an actor, but
Well, let me just tell you this, mine is a lot bigger than Batista's. I was the original Terminator. I was the original Sperminator. I was there. I was back in the day, I was pumping old school. This guy's a chump, and now he looks like a dehydrated fucking, I don't know what the hell he looks like, a dehydrated fucking transmorph, fucking giant head dude from fucking Lord of the Rings. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know, the guy is weird. I don't want him to become Marcus Phoenix. I should be taking the role. I might be old, but I bet you I can still do it.
I can do it.
We got $1 on that from RWK, who actually says nothing, but pops a couple of
laughing.
He's laughing again.
Laugh it up.
Laughing. All right, we got any more questions coming in here?
Got one coming. Hang on.
Oh,
Iceman's
RWK again. He's on a roll tonight.
Arnold, you should remake the Predator naked and chase around the maze or the jungle.
Yes. I would be chasing the jungle, be like, go, get to the hot tub, do it, go, come on now, I'm gonna get you there. And of course, Jesse Ventura is coming around with his big Gatling gun, and get Bill Duke in there as well. I'm gonna have me some fun. I'm gonna have me some fun. All that shit is gonna be in there, and Jesse Ventura is gonna be doing his lines. You know, he's gonna be like, if it bleeds for 5 days and doesn't die, we're gonna kill it.
I got a question. Oh, you go, Perry. You go.
Well, Iceman has a question. Hey, Arnold, when would it be a good time for a Newf to trade in his Xbox Series X?
I would say you should trade it in now, and it's worth a ton of money because Newf is always trading his shit. Newf doesn't know what the fuck he wants. One day he got this console, the next day it's this console. I mean, the guy is a fucking weirdo. He doesn't know what he wants. He likes to. I think he just likes to touch the new plastic. That's why again he hangs out in the malls with the mannequins. He's a feeling of boobs. That's what he likes to do. Is just touching the plastic. He wants the new shit all the time.
We got one from Harold, Files of Horror. Hey, Arnold, all that baby oil, did you get that from P. Diddy or KY Bob?
He still got some left over from when he was a panelist on Game Set Live. I'm telling you.
Man. Buys in bulk. I still like that.
Oh, RWK, $1.99.
Oh, awesome panel, Newf. This has been a good show. Yeah, obviously.
Nice.
Every week it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We got a Christian. It's a Christian.
It's Christian.
What would it take? What would it take to get you back on Game Set Live, Arnold?
Well, I'm always down to do any podcast. It's just got to make the time. It's got to work out to me. I'm a very busy guy. Newf, of course, his schedule is very tight. It's tighter than a nun's buns. And it's very tight to get him on because he's got to get off work and he's got to get home and he's got to get adjusted. And of course, for me, we just got to make the time schedules work out. This East Coast, West Coast shit is very crazy. There's a lot of time in between. So, yeah, just lots of heads up in the good time range and we'll try to make it happen for you.
Sir X-Man has a question for Arnold. Hey, Arnold, I heard you had a baby with the Predator.
Yeah, and it looks a lot like you.
Oh, shit. Proto has a question.
Big black bald sack came out of Predator's crack.
What the fuck?
Oh my god! Oh my
god! Another one. Arnold's on a roll tonight. Everybody's asked Arnold.
Hey Arnold, who is the hottest celebrity you've ever banged? Says the Cougar Man.
Honestly, I'm going to keep it on the down low, but they're going to say Sharon Stone. She was very hot. She was not only fantastic in, of course, the movie Total Recall with me. She was amazing. But, I mean, that woman is great. She's the one of the kind. You wanted to make sure that you have those slow scenes and it's going to open up and cross her legs. She makes it so sexy. She was called the Sharon Stone. Well, I wanted to call her Sharon Bone because I wanted to bone her every time I saw her. She's incredible.
Bang, bang.
She's still hot and sexy today. Want to get between the petunia and show her my tuna. Let's go. Do it.
Hell yeah, dude. I wrote a question in there for Cletus.
I had one too.
You want me to read it? I'll read it.
I'll read it. Go ahead.
Cletus. Yep. Cletus, I gotta know what you put on your hot dogs. What toppings?
Well, let me tell you. First of all, I can put a lot of things on my hot dogs, and it sometimes it can definitely change based on the weather, my mood, and that kind of the environment that sometimes that I'm in. For example, I mean, if I'm eating hot dogs and me and the missus, we just got down and fiddly-diddly with it, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes, I mean, there could be a little bit of mustard. Sometimes there could be some of that human tapioca. Sometimes you get a couple of pubic hairs wrapped around there and you got a little hot dog going on. What the fuck is that? That's goddamn old
It's the man who made your hot dog.
I think it's that Jack Black or Jack Crack. I don't know what the fuck his name is. My God, he's stiffer
That's
than my
Jack
fucking
Ass.
There's Jack Crack.
That's fucking. Matt, you just Mr. Jackass, bitch.
He's fucking stiffer than my cock than when the pigs are ripe. Yeah, my ear. All right. We got another one coming in here. I think this one might be for Arnold again. This one comes in for AEC Founder.
Arnold, fuck any maids, or did the wall stop them? What is going on with this chat?
What's going on?
I did all the maids. I'm actually running out of maids. There's not as many maids in Hollywood anymore to even get there now. I mean, I'm almost to the point now I'm going to start bringing them in from Mexico just so they can get past Donald Trump's borderline patrol.
Are they going to put a tariff on the maids?
I was going to tariff on the maid. I can't even take her panties down, and there's a big thing under there. There's a tariff on it.
Oh my goodness!
Fucking tariff, pussy. What the fuck is wrong with that? They got to pay extra.
What is it?
Tariff on the maids. What a terrible, terrible thing to have to deal with.
Dear God, nothing's cheap anymore.
Nope. All right, now I gotta know.
It's ever going to be cheap here. This government is going crazy. They're trying to get us everywhere. Swear to God. I'm going to open my asshole to want to nail me so hard.
All right, I got one. I need to know what. I need to know what safe house. Ah, damn it!
What?
Hey, Cletus, have you ever gotten your little member stuck in the jet of a hot tub?
Oh my God!
Oh fuck!
Well, first of all, if you've never gotten your little member not stuck in a hot tub, you're doing it wrong. You just haven't been in any hot tubs. I've been in all sorts of hot tubs, cold tubs, warm tubs. Fucking tubs. I've been in fucking tubs in the desert, tubs in the fucking wilderness. I've been in all sorts of bad tubs. I love to get my fuck. That's what I'm telling you. When people say you're going to get your dicky wet, I always guaranteed to get my dicky wet. I don't know where I'm going to stick it, but you're going to be wet. You're going to be wet wetty. That's right. That's what I always tell my ladies. You're going to free willy tonight, baby. Let's go. Suck on that chub, blah, blah, blah. Let's go. Willy-dilly.
Yee!
All right, now I gotta know. I gotta ask mine now. What does Safe House think of Arnold's naked remake of Kindergarten Cop?
Oh shit!
God, fuck.
My fucking goddamn fucking cock ass. What a fucking weird ass fucking shit that is. I mean, I'm fucking pretty fucking twisted. Let me tell you. You guys know that I'm fucking twisted. I'm fucked up. My voice is fucked up. My fucking eyeballs fucked up. My hair fucked up. Everything's fucked up in my face. But let me tell you, I can't even imagine fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger fucking naked in front of all of them kids. Goddamn, I'm not even that fucking crazy. I'm not even that fucking crazy. You know what I mean? It's just the problem with kids is they're too young to understand what's going on. You gotta fucking explain things to them. And then you can't tell them in the same way that I will fucking tell you what it is. I gotta be like, yeah, we got Arnold. He's got his wee dilly. He's fucking rolling out his fucking little pecker. And I gotta make that sound like something that a kid can understand. You're gonna say like, you gotta stay away from the caterpillar because that caterpillar's bites. Okay, so when that caterpillar starts to grow, you gotta take your leaves in your garden and you gotta run outside and you gotta take a shit in the woods. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta fucking out of it. I can't even fucking along with that shit. Arnold's crazy, man. Well, but honestly, it would probably be kind of funny at least for 5 minutes until the cop showed up, and then you'd be fucked.
You fuck.
I think fucking KY Bob down here is doing some kind of Japanese lip animations. I think I'm fucking been dubbed. I think I've got a dub podcast out here.
Getting dubbed over.
Maybe it's just me. Don't KY Bob doesn't even remind you of Bubba Ray Dudley.
Bubba Ray.
Fucking Bubba Ray Dudley down there.
Get up. This is out of control.
Time to get the tables.
Holy shit, Sir X-Man's fucking Devon. Get up, drop the bombshell, get up. All you hear is the...
All right.
Are you ready?
We're gonna close the show, guys. It's been an awesome episode. Glad that KY Bob was able to stay for the duration of the 2-hour show. He said he would have to back out early, but he was able to hang out with us the entire time. So, yeah, great show, guys. Thank you so much for everything. To all the chat, you guys are absolutely superstars. Thank you. My name is Captain Ketch. I thought it was a Kelch there for a second, but Captain Ketch, good to see you. Talis Ray, Boz Frank, the whole list goes on, guys. Thank you so much. AEC founder, all the super chats. You guys are amazing. Thanks so much. We had over 20 odd live in the show tonight. It was fantastic. So we'll be back again next week for episode number 23. You don't want to miss it. Yeah, and some cool stuff. But yeah, let's get out of here. Let's everybody just say goodbye. All the links to the guys' social media pages or YouTube and stuff are in the comments underneath the video. So please feel free to hit them up. But let's get out of here. Let's start with our amazing guest of Game Set Live, Mr. KY Bob. Let people know where they can catch up with you when you're not hanging out with idiots like us and doing your own thing.
Yeah, it's KY Bob on every platform, every console, on YouTube, Steam, Xbox, Twitter, PlayStation, everything. I do a little show called Game Set Live. We've been on Thursdays for the longest time, but now we're moving from Thursdays because Thursdays are very busy. I thought it only right to move to Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock because, you know, Wednesday is also known as the hump day of the week. And what's a little hump day without some KY and the boys? So we're moving to Wednesdays at 8. That's right. I do the Humpty Hump.
Yeah, I do the Humpty Hump. I do the Humpty Hump. I do
That's
the
right.
best.
That's right.
That's right. Stop what you're doing, because KY about to win. Image in the style that you used to.
So yeah, we're going to start our Wednesday night shows tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Looking to get some new panelists on the show.
I'll come and be a pain in your ass.
Oh shit!
That was a dangerous invite, sir.
Shouldn't have said it out loud.
I'm going to stack the deck. Some nights I may only have 4 people. Some nights I may have 8, but at least I'll have 4. And I will leave this show the same way I leave every episode of Game Set Live, and that is gamers, get outside, touch some grass, hug somebody you love, and game on, baby.
Go.
Nice.
All right. You're working hot. Let people know where they can catch up with you, man, social media or otherwise.
All right,
And I
all
see
right.
you
You
on
guys.
Friday too, maybe.
Yeah, it's fine. You gonna fucking see me. This is my time next, man. Let me have it, bro. Anyway,
Bring it.
like I was saying, y'all can catch me on Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, Twitter /X is the name you see on the screen. But hey, we're gonna be having more community game nights. We'd love to see more people get out there. Tell a friend, bring them along. We don't care. Everyone's invited. Don't matter. But fuck yeah, we'll let you know when the next one is. And wait till next Tuesday, baby. Can't wait. Catch y'all next time.
Sir X-Man, where can people catch up with you, sir?
Here next week. Acting crazy and just being me and being crazy, stupid, and retarded. But you can catch me also on, you guys know the time in the show. Spread the word out so people can come and watch it, okay? Tell your friends. Let's go.
Pornhub 3:30
And I want
tomorrow,
to see
page 264.
and I want to see them likes go up. Stop playing. Stop playing.
Agreed.
Coming live at you from the local IHOP is Sir X-Man and his tank control video games.
Yeah. Hey, Rudy Tooty, fresh and fruity, baby. But
and dressed as Tomb Raider appears at IHOP.
IHOP needs a
drunk at 3
D
a.m.
battery.
but you can also catch me every now and then on Wasted with Wise, and sometimes K-Bob comes out and hang with us. And you can always catch me on the Dragon's Den with Lemon, which you people know is one. Yeah, I ain't doing it today. You know, at 5 o'clock on Friday Eve, on Saturday Central Time, and then I'll be right back here aggravating everybody like I do next week.
Sir.
And you can catch me on Xbox aggravating somebody who doesn't have a mic, and if they don't have a mic this week, they're in trouble. Ain't that right, New?
ProtoFoxy, let's try this again.
Well, the next time you're going to find me is just on Tuesday nights because apparently I'm an AI and I'm incorrect on everything. So you're going to shut me down and reboot me until next Tuesday.
Fucking robots.
Awesome. God. Catch up with all the guys. And last but not least, Mr. Xbox Done. KY Bob
was talking to you, Perry.
Oh, he's talking to me?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Every Wednesday night between 9:30 and 10 p.m. Eastern on the GameComplainers YouTube channel. Me, Frank, Anthony, and Fred. And that's pretty much it.
Great show with those guys, by the way. Awesome dudes. Go check them out by all means. And make sure you come back and say hello to Perry each and every week on GAD right here, guys. We'll be back again next Tuesday. You know where to find me, always in the gutter. And as Wicked Hot said, community game nights. Why the hell people aren't lining up to get in on this shit is beyond me, because the fun that we had on the weekend, and the thing is, we don't take it serious. Nobody was crazy with it. Everybody's having a good time. Everybody sort of had some. We all had some great moments in different matches, and it was a lot of fucking fun. So come out to those. I mean, people always complain that not enough of us game together in the community, and that's totally true. You don't have to stay for 3 or 4 hours. We generally try to mix up the games. We'll come up with another good game here pretty soon, but we have certain rotations. Titanfall 2 has always been a popular one. We'll definitely bring back some Gears pretty soon as well. Got to get some more Gears matches on the go and everything else. So, yeah, we were playing the weekend. We were playing some Halo Master Chief Collection. So we went through games 1, 2, 3, and we didn't get to 4. We just went through the first 3, and then, of course, Halo 2 Anniversary. So, but we had a really good time. It was a pretty good crowd and
good games. Yeah, good games.
It was, and I do apologize for those. I wanted to play Mario Party Jamboree, but I had we sort of had an emergency thing. I had to take the cat to the vet, so I didn't make it back in time for that game. But we will do it again soon. So we'll keep you posted. So make sure you're following me on Twitter for all the updates, and we'll try to get that going again. So yeah, we appreciate you working on Lurking Dreadpool. It's always good to see you, brother. And we'll catch up with you soon, too. Axel and everybody that's been in the chat tonight. You guys are amazing. We'll see you again next week. But until then, take it easy. Take care of yourselves. And most importantly, game on.
That's right. Peace out, nerds.
Bring back G4.
Who brought this guy?